All right, are we live now? I'm a bit of an idiot, I think. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me or if you can see me. Oh, hey, look, it's working. So, apparently, when you do it from your computer, there's a button that says go live, even if it looks like it's already live. So, I apologize for that. Can you all hear me and see me? Audio good. Okay. Now, Nathan, here's the thing. I have a couple different camera angles, so I want to make sure the audio is good on all angles. So here's camera angle number 2, so you can see the heat press. And I'm over here. Can you still hear me? Camera angle number 2. Can you still see and hear me? I know I'm kind of to the side a little bit. Okay, good. Now we have inside the HP latex. So this is camera angle number 3, so that we can watch the banners print that I'm working on. Signworks Monterey, welcome. Detroit Wraps, Brenda, Nathan, All Stitch Designs. Okay, so if you could just let me know in the comments if all 3 cameras work and you can hear, great. Perfect. So, today I thought we could. I have to make some banners, so I thought it'd be fun to live stream. And I'm a nerd, so I set up some cameras around the office to make it a little more fun. So bear with me if there's some technical difficulties, um, but I think it'll be fun. So I've got the HP latex already turned on because I'll just I'll show you my janky camera setup. We've we've got a taken apart IP cam that I taped inside the cabinet, and then we've got this camera up here doing the wide angle view, and then I'm just using a webcam for this one. And I found a way that I could also connect my phone, so probably for the next live stream I'll have a mobile camera that I can move around a little bit easier since these are all tied down. So the first thing we got to do is swap out the media. So let's do that. That's my camera angle is going to work. Yep. So we're going to unload this HP prime box. And if you guys do have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. So this banner media is just some name brand from my local supplier, and I loaded it backwards. Yep. Are you serious? This is supposed to be on the other end. I gotta take it off again. Alright, is it still working? No one has made any comments making fun of me loading this vinyl. Yes, it is. It's the worst. Alright. So, let's see if we can make it so you guys can see a little better. That's not good. Why didn't it load? There we go. Edge guards are good. Alright. Hopefully this works. Let's, we can switch it to the inside. Someday I will get this so the streaming is really fun. But I'm definitely geeking out a little bit with all the tech. So speaking of small space, trying to work with this, I one time set the media holder up against the wall, or up against the latex, and it fell, and now I have a big hole in my wall. So looks like it accepted it. So now we're going to extend it out so it doesn't hit the heat cure. Alright, that's the one thing I forgot. I did not set it up so you could see my screen. Next time. I will do that next time. So first things first, we have got a banner for Bob. I believe it is 3 feet by 6 feet. Banner, banner, banner. Perfect. So we are going to load this banner directly into Production Manager since it's fully designed and it's just a square. Next time I will set it up so you guys can see my screen. So while I'm doing this, does anyone have any questions? Basically what I'm doing right now in Flexi, I guess I could turn the webcam around even though it's not the greatest view. It's better than nothing. So, tripod down. So I opened up the job properties, and the first thing I'm going to do is center it. I'm not going to advance it just because I advanced the media itself, so printing right away is what I want. I am going to add some grommet holes to make it so I don't have to think about it. We're going to do 3 on the top, 2 on the sides. So that should be good. It's a solid background. We'll make sure it's using the right profile. Six pass. Okay. So now in Production Manager, we can see the preview. So we're going to rip it. And then we'll send it as soon as it's ripped. Now it's going to get really hot in here. Oh, yes, Nathan. It is the very hot heater that I'm turning on. And I do appreciate the email you sent me last night. Sorry that I have not had a chance to respond. It's just a little overwhelming. Magnus, it is the 600 DPI, I'm doing a 6-pass. Speaking of which, I think it's always fun. Shout out where you're from. So I'm in Utah. I'd love to know where everyone else is watching from today. Brenda, yes, the heat does change. It just depends on what media you're running, depending on what curing temperature it is. For the most part, it's usually in the 200 degree range. I think this banner media is 230 degrees. Yep, 230 degrees. So we got Sweden, South Texas, Utah. I know Signworks here in Canada, Arkansas, Illinois. Yes, that is 230 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is 110 Celsius. Detroit Raptors in Michigan, that makes sense. So while this banner is printing, Brands and Empire, thank you for the donations. I watch your videos and I appreciate them. If you guys need someone else to watch, check out Brands and Empires. He also recently launched a new, I guess he's launching a distribution program. I think that's the right. He's becoming a distributor. Um, so check that out. I think Laser something. If you're still watching Brands and Empire, leave a link to your new store down below in the comments. So Nathan, the purpose of rip and print is it takes all of sorry, Brands and Empires. I'm trying. The rip and print takes all of the color data and it merges it with the profile set for the media so that it does all the math and calculations to determine what it should look like. So as an example, you can see my screen, it's a really, really bright green, which it's not supposed to be that way. That's just the visual profile I'm using. If you look at the banner itself, it's this nice mint green. And so it makes it, it basically is doing a bunch of math and calculations to make the print. I started doing just decals only, and you're using a rip usually when you make the decals. It's just in like the mom and pop space, or even using like a heat transfer warehouse or a heat press nation or a US cutter type cutter. You're using a rip to do that. They just typically don't call it a rip. But yeah, hope that makes sense. Okay, So I looked it up. It's Laser Transfer Supplies. I was really close. Laser something. You might want to buy that one. LaserSomething.com. Laser Transfer Supplies is a new dealership. Okay. While this is printing, I am going to get the second banner going. Hopefully I can get it done before this one is done so that it will just keep printing. It'll be close. I need to get a slightly better angle on that the camera inside so you can actually see it printing. I will work on that for the next time. So Brands and Empires is asking how many inches a minute does this print. It depends on what profile you're using. So I'm doing a 6-pass, which is, I think, what is, I think it's like 30 inches a minute or a couple of feet a minute, somewhere in that, but it depends because if you run like a 4-pass, it prints faster than a 6-pass, than a 10-pass, etc. So it depends on what profile you're using. But I do know for like I think it's a 10 or a 12 pass, it's rated to do 130 feet an hour, I believe. So the banner media that I'm using is from a local supplier. It's nothing spectacular, but I'll look at the brand here. It's called Jetflex. So Ultra Flex Systems Jetflex 13-ounce banner. And Brenda is asking if the heat won't affect the camera. It probably will, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Mancraft Graphics, nice shot inside the camera, thank you. Mancraft just started a channel, so if you want to check out someone else that's growing and starting a print business, check him out. I believe I was subscriber number 1, so I'm always there for you. Alright, so I was able to get the second print there, and it is so small that it says it's already done queuing and printing in the rip. So hopefully it works. Speaking of the camera inside the printer, so I actually took it apart because I was going to put it in our playroom. The way my house is built is it's considered a rambler, but above the garage is a bonus room, and that's where we do our homeschool. There is a bathroom. There's a bedroom that my wife uses as an office, and then there's like a bonus section behind it where we keep all the toys. And my kids are notorious for leaving the lights on up there. I should just put a smart switch so I can just have them automatically turn off. And I took this camera apart so that I could mount it like inside of a one gang box, and I didn't realize that I ruined the microphone on it. So the mic is actually dead on this camera, and I kind of want a mic up there, but kind of not. So I kind of put the project on hold, but it worked out really good for doing the video today. So Mitt is asking if I've ever used the Avery Dennison. I have not. So really the vinyls and stuff that I've used, I have used some Brightline product, some 3M product, and HP product made by LexJet. So those are the vinyls that I've used. I guess Banner's technically vinyl. The Banner I've used Brightline, and now this. VersaFlex or whatever it was called. So, yeah. So, no, I have not tried Avery. I'm trying to be better at not using as many medias and not stocking as much because it just causes problems. Like you can see out this door, that's where I keep my roll vinyl. Hopefully soon it will be back in the office. I have sad news for everyone. Bach might be leaving us. So might be getting rid of the embroidery machine. So it'll be good to save some space, get some vinyl back in here, but we'll see. Minecraft graphics. Yep, I'm glad we could get you some more subs, so make sure you get us some more content because I need some more things to watch. Like, I watch Brands and Empires, Blue Designs, Minecraft graphics, Monterey. Signworks occasionally puts out some videos. T-shirt chick. Who else do I watch? I've said kind of from the beginning I make these videos almost every day because I wish someone else made them so I could watch them. Let's see, we got Just a Printer, Hustle Ninjas, Stan Banks, JP Custom Inks, Heart and Hustle. So if you have any that you recommend, shout them out in the comments. Brenda, I don't think I have groupies, but it's more like fam. They're family. So, second banner just wrapped up. So these ones are rulers, and they're for fishing. So there's a guy in my BNI group. He sent me a picture of a fish on one of these and said, "Can you make me some of these?" And so I sent it off to Penji and had them make it up, and he approved it. And he wants 5 now, and maybe like he's thinking maybe 10 to 20 in the future. So we'll see how it goes. Amit, thanks for watching. Amit's got a 315 as well. He's in India. Speaking of watching, if you've been around or how long you've been watching, guesstimate which vlog number you started watching at. I'd be curious to know kind of when people started joining and watching. We'll see if this calms down so it's a little more quiet. There we go. So all his learning says, I'm interested in purchasing the HP Latex 115 printer. Any suggestions on which cutter I should get? I really like the HP cutter that I have that you can see over here. I really like this one. The only problem with it is that it does not do perf cutting extremely well. But it does work. It just doesn't do like the fine detail. Like let me go get an example and I'll show you. So let's see if I can get it to focus here. You can see right here that, well, you might be able to see. It just wants to focus on me. The detail was supposed to go up in here, but because the way that the HP cuts, it'll cut a little bit here, and then it will maybe jump to another one, and then it will come back here and cut some more, and then it will jump to another one and come back here and cut a little bit more. So when it does perf cutting, because it's not a continuous motion all the way around, then it doesn't do as good of a job. Can't remember who it is in the print fam, but he's a member of my Patreon. He figured out a way to do it, and I'm supposed to call him and figure it out, but it's super complicated, he said, and it takes a lot of work. And so there is a way to make it a continuous flow, but if you want to do more, people call these die cut, then I would go with the Graphtec. If you're looking for more automation, I would go with the Suma. Although Graphtec did come out with a new one that does have some barcode technology built into it, but I'm not sure how it works. I just know it's a little different because Suma has some sort of patent or trademark or something on the way that the barcode automation works. So there's pros and cons to both, but I also, if you can, I would advise jumping up to the 315 rather than the 115 because it's a lot slower. It doesn't do continuous print. So like with this one, how I sent a second job and it just continued to print the banner because it was the same profile, it was the same everything. It didn't have to finish the first job, reset itself, and then start printing the second one because it was the same thing. The 115 has to do that. It doesn't matter if it's the same profile, the same media, everything. It can only do one job at a time before pausing. You also, with the 115, have smaller inks, and so it's more expensive. Other than that, it's basically the same thing. So I would suggest, if you can, spend a little bit more money and get the 315 over the 115. And I will link a article on my website that I put together explaining the differences between the, the HP latex, the base series. So Brenda's been following since February. Amit has been following since I got the latex, which is about the time I it's about the time I started going harder on making YouTube videos because I felt like no one else was really making them around this topic. Detroit Rap says he's had Roland printers for years. So that was actually when I was initially buying my large format printer. I looked at either getting the Roland VersaWorks, like 5400 or something like that, 540, or um, the HP Latex. And the reason I decided the HP was when I was talking to the sales reps about the maintenance. I didn't want to have to do it. And I could be wrong, but from what I was told by the salespeople with the Roland, you have daily, weekly, and monthly cleanings that you have to do, and you have to use, I think it might be isopropyl alcohol or some sort of cleaning and Q-tips, and you have to move stuff and clean stuff and wipe stuff, and I just didn't want to have to do that. So that's why when they told me with the HP latex, they're like, oh, you could theoretically leave it for a month, which I have before. I actually have a video on my channel saying that this is the first time I have run my HP latex in about a month. Let's hope it works, and it did. So Detroit Raps did confirm it. You have to clean it all the time, and I just don't want to. It could be like someone in the comments said I'm a lazy dude. I said I'm not, but there are some things that I don't want to do, so that could be seen as being lazy, because I definitely did not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to clean heads every day and do stuff because I don't I don't run my HP latex every day. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at run. It's begun. um, Detroit Wraps, I do agree. I've heard that they're great printers. They have great quality. The other reason why I decided latex over um, the eco solvent was, from what I was told, the eco solvent have to outgas, which I've had confirmed that they're supposed to outgas. So you can't always cut immediately, and you have to have space, which I was like, I don't have space to let stuff outgas. I need to print it, cut it, get it out of the way. And that is a great idea. We're gonna count too. Now I'm gonna yawn again. um, um, so, um, yes. Now I don't even remember what I was talking about. Anyway, oh, outgassing and space. Yes, I just don't have time for it, and space, and Oh man, it's not that late. It's not that early. Or you know what I mean. There, update this counter. Um, but yeah, I'd love to know. I know, Brenda, don't you have like a VersaCam or VersaWorks or something that you're looking to get rid of or want to get rid of because of that reason? Um, and Detroit Reps, why'd you pick the 335 over like the 365 or the 315? I'd be curious to know that. I think I have all the comments. Sweet. If you haven't already and you're watching, hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Trying to think what else we can do today. I need to cut these, but I don't have any cameras in the other room so that I can cut them. I need to get my phone set up so that I can do that. That way we have a mobile cam. Also, oh man. Also, well, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the time to make something. The blog went out a couple of days ago saying you should have received these. No, if you signed up to receive these, I just barely sent them this week. So you should be getting them soonish. 3 of them went out of country, so those ones will probably take a little bit longer. We had Germany, Denmark, and something that started with a B that's in like Indonesia area that I had no idea existed. Um, but everything else was in the United States. No Canada people signed up. That was a little sad. But yes, I just barely sent those out. Alright, I yawned again. I cheated. I hit it. This is really bad. It's only like 1 o'clock for me. I should get a take-up reel. I really need one. It's bad. Would save me a lot of time. Brenda wants a TTMS tee or hoodie. I want one too, but I can't think of a good design. I honestly think it should just say like yawn or like hashtag yawn or something across the front and like a bid, like have it be a solid rectangle and have the yawn be subtracted out of it in whatever shirt it is. Um, that's kind of what I think, or I think it'd be fun to maybe have it on the sleeve or something, something kind of incognito. The other thing that I thought would be cool is either on the front or the back, have it say print, but have it go down. So instead of saying like P R, like do it sideways. So it's, yeah. Keep yawning. That's a good one, Victor. Oh man, sleepy guy. The 2 o'clock club stickers. Is that what you're saying? Where did my two? You're saying put my sleepy guy? The sad thing is we might not have Bach anymore. So Bach might be going away. I still can't decide. I'm having a hard time with it. I could use the money, but I'm struggling with it. So Nathan is looking for some media that he can print on his Epson WF7720 pigment printer. So if anyone has any ideas, let's see, what kind of printer is that? Hold on. This is really bad. I even, like, everyone makes fun of me too because I don't wake up until 9:30, but I usually don't go to bed until like 2. So that's probably the reason the 2 o'clock club even exists. And so, as many of you know, if you're a good watcher in the vlog, um, my truck broke, and I went and picked it up today, and the battery broke as well. So, third thing that's gone wrong with this truck in like a week. Um, and even he, this word was like, "What time did you get up today?" It's like, so, yeah, Nathan. As far as something for the workforce printer, I don't know. Just because I don't. Oh man, I don't print stuff on that type of equipment. The closest thing to that would be my white toner printer, um, but it is laser. I I don't know of anything that would work. So if anyone has any suggestions for it, leave those in the comments or email me ttmakesomething@gmail.com and I'll pass them on. So Victor says he uses the Caesar printable vinyl. Have you tried just running like regular like Orcal 651 or something through it just to see? I think it's worth a try. Um, yeah, I don't. The other thing you could do is you could reach out to like a Grimco or like a Montroy Signs or um, a Fellers to see if they have something or know of something. Just because they deal with it all day every day, they might have an idea of something. So, any other questions? I don't have much going on today. Like I said, I got to print or I got to cut the banner, but I don't have a way to move you guys to the other room, so it'd kind of be lonely in here. All questions are free game. Doesn't mean I'll answer them, but you can ask them. But I won't answer if it's not asked. I'm pretty sure they have a Grimco in Texas, Nathan. Grimco's everywhere. They even opened one here in Utah recently. They have 5 of them in Texas. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Come on. What the heck? Alright, Jamie has a question on transfer papers, which I do have some shirts. I could make some shirts. Alright, Jamie, what is your question on transfer tape? I'll start working on these shirts. I can definitely see how the 9 to 5 would get in the way. So Jamie's asking about transfer tape, and Jamie, sorry, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, I know both. Um, the Aura tape for silhouette, the Oracal. Is there something cheaper? Yes. Especially if you're buying. I have found out that a lot of people are buying stuff from craft stores. Don't do that. It is way overpriced, way expensive. I went into Michael's the other day to buy a punch. This thing. Because I needed it super quick. And I had like huge sticker shock that they were charging like $16 for a foot of um, transfer tape. Or not transfer tape, of like HTV. So don't overbuy. So there's Tape Man Blue that you can get on Amazon, which I've used a few times and it works good. It comes in lots of different stuff. If I'm buying it locally, I get R tape. I don't know if other suppliers carry that, but that's usually what I do. Is I either get it from Amazon because I have time. So with the transfer tape, you just want a low tack. So I sent you a link to a high tack. Just make sure you get a low tack, or it will pop the balloon. Because if you get a high tack, it won't come off. So Mike asks, when you first started this whole thing, did you consider leasing a building, or were you always going to be home-based? I have considered leasing a building, and I'm still considering it. The hardest thing for me is I feel like if I have a retail space or a commercial space, that I would have to have hours, and I don't want to have hours right now. Um, if I had to have hours, I would want to be able to have someone there that I could afford to pay, because I'm not gonna lie, I have trouble sleeping, and so waking up is hard for me. And if I had to be at my office every day at 9 or 8:30 or 10, then it wouldn't work out very well for me. And at the same time, I also don't like having that restriction of I have to be to work at a certain time, because I like the flexibility. I like being able to spend time with my family in the morning and have breakfast and whatnot. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still not against it, and the way, like, I'm still trying to figure out if there's a potential way for me to build my building in the backyard. But there's two ways to look at it. The building will be more expensive in the short term, but pay off more in the long term. But renting somewhere will be cheaper in the short term, but cost me more in the long term. But like typically commercial spaces have three-phase, which some of the equipment that I would want, like a big flatbed printer, would kind of require that, or they mostly require it. So there's pros and cons to both, but really the biggest pro to me is I can work when I want for however long I want, and it's super close to home, and I can do things. It's also a negative, so I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's good and bad. Jamie also asks if there's a vinyl that I recommend. If you're just doing solid colors, I typically just recommend like the Orcal 650, 651, just depending on whether you want glossy or matte. I don't use really either of those anymore, just because my printer's moving and I don't know why. I did not tell it to print. Anyway, when I'm doing solid colors, I typically just print something. Always Learning says, I own an embroidery and screen printing business. Curious as to why you might be getting rid of the embroidery machine. Do you not get very much demand? So, I feel like embroidery has... I need more training on it to feel confident in doing it on my own. I started out, I believe, on the wrong foot because I did a puff embroidery for my very first job that I ever ran by myself, and it gave me a lot of headache. And so I feel like I need more training. I feel like I need a few more tools that would make it easier to hoop or to align or do different things. And I just don't want to spend the money on it. And I bought the embroidery to do low quantity stuff so that I could do quick stuff and small quantity, but I find that most people, even though it's quick turnaround and low quantity, people don't want to pay very much for it. And so I'm spending a lot of time and a lot of money, and I'm not making a good return on it. Um, so I'm still trying to figure out the details of getting rid of the embroidery machine, and I'll cover it as soon as I kind of know more. But I'm trying to make it so that I can still offer kind of quicker turnaround and have a better price than what I'm paying right now for outsourced embroidery. But really, it comes down to I just don't feel like I have enough knowledge or time to spend on it, and I'm saying yes to too many things, and so I'm trying to reduce the stuff that I have to run in-house so that I can spend time growing it, and then maybe when I have more space, more time, more money, then I'll look at bringing it back in when I can maybe have an employee dedicated to it. Because right now I have over $100,000 worth of equipment, and it's not getting used the right way. So I'm trying to get rid of what I personally use the least. Even though there's a lot of demand for it, I don't feel confident in it, so I'm not pushing it enough. And so that's why I'm leaning towards getting rid of it. So Mike says I made a couple of good points on the working from home versus outsourcing. Um, so yeah, I am lucky in the fact that my property is half an acre, so I do have a lot of space that I can build a building. Um, so that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and I still don't know what I'm doing really right now. I'm trying to stop the hemorrhage of money and get a profitable sector, and then kind of decide from there. Jamie, let's see, I might have missed something. Nope. Yes, always learning. Puff is not a good first choice. Yeah, that was, it was, I bought the machine and that was the very first thing I did was some puff hats, and I think it just set me on the wrong path, and because it was so hard, then it made me not like it, which is why I think if I had a little bit more training or could maybe take some in-person classes, that would help me to know and understand it a little bit more. I guess that leads also to the question, let's see, I can't remember who's looking at the 115. Someone's looking for a 115 that was in the chat. The 115 is a self-install versus the 315 comes with 2 days of training and install. So that's another reason why I think it's worth doing, because the 315, 335, and 365, someone comes and installs it for you and trains you how to use it. So if it's your first dive into large format printing, I would recommend it, because I bought my embroidery machine used and they gave me a quick, maybe 30-minute lesson, and see ya. So, yeah, I think part of my problem is I bought too much stuff too fast, equipment-wise, and I need to just focus. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get rid of stuff so that I can focus. And I'm trying really, really hard, and I won't tell you all the details of what's going on, but make sure you watch Monday's vlog. Monday's vlog is a sad one, so make sure you watch it. It's already scheduled, it's already ready to go, and will be available Monday morning, and it makes me sad. I got distracted. So I'm working on these shirts. Let me go get them from the other room. There's some youth shirts, so I want to make sure the size is good. Look at the 315, always learning. It comes with training. Training is helpful. So these are some 4T shirts, I believe. Yep. So we'll do them on the white toner. I think 6 inches wide. That might be a little big. So maybe we'll do 5 inches wide. Let's see how that looks. So Jamie says, don't be sad. If you watch Monday's vlog and you're not sad, then like there's no way not to be sad about what's coming Monday. Like there is no way at all to not be sad. Like it makes me feel like a huge failure. I can't talk about it. It's gonna make me emotional. It's sad. It's It's really sad. So right now what I'm doing is I'm laying out the artwork on 11 by 17 sheets in Illustrator so that I can print a couple and we'll marry them and see how they look. We'll turn the heat press up. So Detroit Raps is saying that he's interested to see the prints from the Roland versus the HP, color quality, etc. The one thing that I know is different is like the picoliter drop size of both print heads, like both machines. The droplet size on the Roland is a lot smaller. It's like half the size of the HP, and so that's where most people look at it and say the quality is better. But I personally have never had anyone complain, so I think it's fine. That's what I do. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 6 4Ts and then an adult, small, and medium. So I can fit 4 5-inch wide designs on a sheet. So I think I'm going to do one sheet that is this, and then I'll do one that's a little bit wider, so that way I can get 6 of the 5-inch, and then 6 that are maybe 8 inches for the adult ones. So, and with this, since I'm going to do white toner, even though the design itself is all black, I just don't want to weed it. I'm going to set every color to 100%, so 100% cayenne, yellow, magenta. So Brenda was saying that she's seen someone use a little desktop laminator before they marry the sheets. Basically what that is to remove any air bubbles so the sheets are nice and flat against each other. You can do that. I always just rub mine first and I don't have any issues. I don't want to have another machine in here if I don't have to. And I don't want to spend $20 on one. So Nathan asks how I price stickers. He has a customer that wants 25 3x1 stickers for $10 each set, and I still need to figure out the media side of things. So I have a cost calculator that is available on my Patreon. If you guys cannot afford to be part of my Patreon to support me, just send me an email and I will just give you the cost calculator. But if you can't support me, I do appreciate it. But I will use my cost calculator based off of what I do. So he wants 25 3x1 stickers. I'm going to assume that it's just the HP prime gloss. So in total, based off of my cost calculator, that job would cost me $10. As part of my cost calculator, I have a minimum of $10 as far as my cost. So in reality, it probably costs less because according to the numbers, it would cost $26 in media, $35 in ink, $36 for cutting. So if I was doing this and it was just one set, then I would charge him $30 for that, because it takes time to set it up, it takes time to do it, and running that job, 25 3x1 stickers will technically fit in 1 square foot of media, which I won't just print 1 square foot of media. So even if, like, let's say they wanted 10 sets, so that's 250 of them. If they were all the same, my price for 250 would be $35. So that just goes to show the cost and pricing based off of what it actually costs to do. But if they're saying that they want 25 sets and they're all different artwork and it takes you a bunch of time, make sure you also account for time, because it's not going to be worth it otherwise. So that's just my 2 cents. Alright, so now we are going to make another sheet here. I think for these adult ones I want to do 8 inches because they're still tiny shirts. Usually I try to do 10 inches, but yeah, we're going to do 8 inches. So 8 inches, oh, it makes it 12. That's not what I want. Seven and a half. Okay, we're going to do 7 inches. I think it'll still look okay. Seven inches makes it just over 10, so it'll still fit on the sheet. Any other questions while I'm getting this white toner job set up so that we can print it? Nathan, you are correct. It is not always a good idea to give time. It is okay to do it, but just be careful. Don't get in the habit. I spend way too much time giving my time away, and yeah, it's hurt me. It has ended up costing me a lot more than it should have because I gave away too much time. At this point, my minimum job that I will do for anything is $25. If they want some prints or copies or anything, unless it's someone I know that I'm like friends with or whatnot, it's 25 bucks, because that helps me say no. Because if I was a retail place, then I would do onesie twosie type copies, but I'm not retail, so I don't want to do onesie twosie type copies. So my job minimum is $25. So theoretically, if I don't mess up this white toner job, we need 3 sheets. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button. See if this, nope, it's not a better angle. Alright, so in case any of you um, just joined, we're working on some white toner stuff now. We already got the banners printed, so we're going to do 3 sheets. In case anyone cares, my favorite drink is Coke Zero. That would be fun. In the comments, what is your favorite beverage? Sheet number 1. Now we're going to do the adult one. So in the comments, Mike asks, were you ever considering a direct-to-garment printer? Detroit Rap says DTGs are like solvent printers. Unless you keep them running all the time, they will have issues. That is actually a subject of an upcoming video of DTG versus white toner, and then there's another one that I'm doing that's like why something to the effect of why I haven't bought a DTG. And it comes down to, I think DTGs are very specific and very niche, and like Detroit Rap says, if you don't have the ability to keep it busy, then you'll get in trouble. And I don't have the ability to keep it busy. I might in the future be willing to get one, but I think it's kind of the same thing with embroidery. I need to remove the things that are not making me money right now, or that I don't have time to run, build up the lines of revenue that are making me money so that I can hire people. So that way, basically, it's like, okay, I have the HP latex and the Konica, and build them up so that they're both making a lot of money, so that I can either hire one person that can run both of them, or I can hire one person for each of them, so that they're both just driving a machine. So then that takes away me from the equation, so that I can go build another revenue stream, whether that's go and sell even more than I'm already selling, because I don't sell very much. I kind of depend on existing customers and doing a little bit of sales. It would take me from that to, now I have time, do I go build more sales, or do I start another revenue stream? Do I go back to embroidery? Do I get a DTG? That way I can basically continue that cycle of business. But I think that's where my biggest problem was, is I was afraid of people. If I said no to something, then they would go to someone else, and they would then go to them for everything. So if I said no to embroidery, or I said no to a pole sign, or I said no to this, that, or the other, that they would go to someone else to use that, and then they would steal them from me. And I'm at the point in my business that if someone is that easy to steal from me, they weren't really my customer to begin with. And so I'm trying to be okay with people leaving me for that reason, and just learning to say no and learning to be okay with those customers, and just knowing that my customers are my customers and they'll love me, like me, and stay, but I can't say yes to everything. So, Detroit Raps, why couldn't you tell me that years ago? Because it would have saved me a lot of heartache. Detroit Rap says he just learned the same thing, or he learned the same thing years ago. Um, he says a while back. Yeah, it's bad. It becomes, to me, it's become toxic because I'm so tied and worried about keeping customers. And at this point, I don't care. My customers are my customers, and they're going to like me or they're going to leave me, and I just need to be okay with that. So we got these 3 done, so they're good to go. So now we need to marry them. The heat press is almost up to temperature. Looks like only 2 of you decided to tell me your favorite drink. We got Diet Dew and Mellow Yellow. Brenda, have you tried the new Dew Zero? I was a Dew drinker in high school. Jamie's says room temperature water. I cannot do cold water either. I have to have room temperature water. I have my teeth on the left side are super sensitive to temperature, and so I can't do cold, which is why, if you notice, my drink does not have ice in it. Sweet. I'm trying to decide if I can. We're gonna try something. I have a 100-foot cable, or thereabouts, might be 50 feet. And my cameras are IP cameras. So I'm curious. I didn't statically assign the IPs, but I'm curious if I can get them to stay connected if I just swap it. So we're going to test it. Let's do a little test here. Alright, we'll give that thing a second to boot up. And if it works, this will be funny. I will have cords running. My office was already a mess. It'll be even worse. Alright, it hasn't. You guys should be able to still hear me. But the camera is still booting. The HP latex just turned off. It worked. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can still hear me. Detroit, you're a better man or woman. I don't know what you are. Sweet. We now have, that means, oh, well, theoretically we can move this anywhere. The mic is still coming from the um, the webcam, but this has a mic in it, so we might have to just play with it. So bear with me a minute while I set up a tripod. This is so funny. Sorry if I'm giving it from you guys. Alright. It's not the best angle. There we go. So, the first thing we're going to do is heat up the bottom so that both the top plate and bottom are warm. You guys are all better than me. I like room temperature water, but it's not my favorite. Alright, so now that this is warm, I'm going to put A down, right side up. Put B on top of it, yellow indicator lines up. And usually the first one is really hot for me, like my hands really hurt. And so if you watch the videos, then you can see me like, because it is 300 degrees. Hot. So then you need to put paper on top of it. Usually I'll do it one more time just to make sure. And I almost messed up here. Fold the corner over so it's easier to grab. And slide it in. I usually do like an 8 pressure. I find that works well for me, so that's what I do. If you have any questions, leave in comments. We got 2 minutes before we have to do anything. And Cam will probably not be joining us today. He's at the lake. This is how boring my life is sometimes. Nathan asks, after the A to B, what's the temp to press to the shirt? So if the A and B is done at 310 for 120 seconds. If you're doing a 100% cotton, you can do it at 310 for 30 seconds, and then wait 5 minutes for it to cool down, and then you press it again, 310, 30 seconds. If it's a 50-50, they recommend 280 with the 30 and 30. If it's a 100% poly, they recommend like 260. All these temperatures are Fahrenheit. Or as some people say, freedom height. So you wipe it about 5 seconds, and then I use my shirt to hold the corner. And if you watch some people online, they peel way faster than me, but this works for me. So that's what I do. Make it so you can see this other direction this time. So this one was good, no problem. So now we repeat it. A down, B, round them up. So this time, my hand is kind of used to the temperature, so it doesn't hurt as much. Hold the corner. Press it for 2 minutes. There we go. All right. What are the questions that we got? Any question is fair game, print related or not. So Brian asks what I think my biggest gross profit is. My biggest gross profit product is. Are you talking about product, like a specific product from a specific machine, or are you talking which machine makes me the most money? Like on the Konica, are you saying is it a product in the Konica, like business cards or postcards, or on the HP latex, like decals versus posters or something? Well, I'll answer both. I think the Konica makes me more money, and I think the highest grossing profit product is wedding announcements. But I don't sell enough of either of them. I'm working on it. All right, now I lost my shirt. Found it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the corner. Hold it down. This one messed up. So this one, see right there. So this one is not usable, which means we gotta print another sheet. Two little ones here. So Brian restated his question, which machine? The Konica makes me the most money. The Konica makes me the most money because it's the fastest. It has more products that more people want. But it was also way more expensive. Way more expensive. Alright, while this is working, we're going to do another sheet. Hopefully I can beat it and get it printed before I have to leave. I think it should be good. I feel you, Jamie. I haven't had lunch either. Nathan, I will check the BTUs. I got 26 seconds. It is 14,000 BTUs. It's currently off, and it's 86 degrees in here. I'm dying. So that other transfer was supposed to print, but it did not. There we go. It's almost time for me to replace the toner in this printer. I'm not looking forward to it. Well, that's printing. Let's maybe bring you guys up a little so you can see top down. Sorry for the shaking. Close your eyes. Make a pin with this thing. No. woods. There we go. See the timer? Oh, the lights are going. That's a good question, Brenda. I feel the same way. I don't understand why I like watching other people work. Although, the one thing that I do like about watching other people is I tend to learn from them because they do things different. And so it helps me know and understand or see how I can maybe work better. Nathan, we usually sit at about 30% humidity or less. All right, 30 more seconds. Hopefully we don't ruin the adult one this time. That's really the only one I need. Beautiful. So now we're going to turn the press down. We're going to cut the edges in case there's any remnant glue so we don't get it on the apparel. You can see it mostly like right there in the corner. Don't know if you guys can see that on the camera or not. This one they're super close together, so hopefully I don't cut them. Also, I usually cut these on my heat press because then I don't have to bend over and it doesn't hurt my back, even though it's really, really hot. Because I can't use my heat press right now anyway, because I'm waiting for it to cool down. So Brenda says it's also nice to be able to see that others have to deal with the same crap you do. I would probably submit that I have a little more drama in my life as of late than I hope most people. I really hope that no one else is going through the same crap that I am. If you are, I am sorry. If you're not, learn from my mistakes. I just dripped sweat on the platinum. It's really hot. We're up to 88 degrees and climbing. Brenda, I'm sorry that you're feeling the same way I am. So this is one of the adult shirts. I usually do the design about 3 inches down, which to me is 3 fingers, because I'm fat. And then I just try to kind of make it look straight, because if it looks straight, it is straight. It's my philosophy anyway. Then I use a different cover sheet than what I use for marrying. And again, this is 30 seconds. I'm sorry that you spent so much money on sublimation and aren't seeing the return from it yet, Nathan. Have you, or I'm curious, what sublimation machine did you buy? So now this needs to cool, so we'll go on to press the next one. Except I have so much crap in my office that since we're all kind of just sitting here, are there any videos that you would like to see from me? Is there anything you guys would like me to talk about, cover, go over, etc.? What would you like to see from me? I'm using a Teflon pillow, in case anyone didn't see that. This is a 4T, so I usually do these a lot higher. Because I switched it, then I need to also drop the pressure of the heat press. Mateus, I was wondering if you were going to join us. Welcome, welcome. Mateus, I just sent you a postcard. I sent it a couple of days ago, so hopefully you'll see it soon. And by postcard, I mean a letter. So, Nathan, converted printers, how do you like those? Because I've always been weary of printers that you modify rather than just buying something that was designed for it. How have you been liking yours? And I do 100% agree. Most people want just tiny stuff. And Mateus, it was only, I think postage was $1.20, so it wasn't terrible. So those of you that do sublimation, what do you find that you do the most of? Like, do you do shirts, or do you do like coffee cups, or metal prints, or coasters? Like, what do you do the most of? And Jamie, yes, I am happy with this heat press. If you look in the links of my videos, there is an affiliate link if you do want to buy one. I would definitely appreciate it if you use it, but by no means is it necessary. They are expensive, and this is not the heat press I started out with, but I really do like it. The first heat press I had did not have a readout of the pressure, and that's probably one of my most favorite features. I do like that this is both swing away and drawer. My other one was clamshell. I still technically own that other one, but I lent it to someone, and I haven't talked to them in a long time. And frankly, I don't have room, so I'm not really asking for it back right now. But yeah, I really like it. So it looks like the people that do, if you're not reading the comments, the do sublimation, we got mugs and tags, shirts, crosses. I think if I were to get into sublimation, it would be for mugs. I think that's what I would do. But I'm trying to be good and not buy anything. Although a Morgana Digifold showed up on the eBay last night. Oh man, do I want to buy it. It's the newer model with the LCD display, touchscreen, and they're only asking 9,000 by it, or they're doing a bid and the starting bid is 7,000. I don't want to buy it so bad. It's taking all my willpower to not do it. All my willpower. Yes, Michael, the eye color can do sublimation, but to buy a sublimation toner is about $2,000. So theoretically you can, but to me, you might as well just buy a sublimation print. Eye color sells a dedicated sublimation. Alright, let's change angles here. Need to cool myself down for a second. I'm getting So Brenda asks if there's a way with the Amazon affiliate thing that you have that you can get credit for people subscribe and save orders. I do believe that if you add something to your cart, then it does give me credit, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do appreciate you guys using the affiliate link. Mateus, thank you. You missed earlier. We were watching inside, or I'll switch it. We were watching inside the HP Latex. I got 3 cameras today. Trying to be ultra cool. Land Booty, I do have an equipment problem. But I feel like the Morgana Digifold would be a good thing to have, but it's not worth it unless I can sell some of my other stuff. Because, one, I don't have room, but I do feel like I could increase the sales of my printing if I had a good way to do trifolds and bifolds and things like that a lot easier. Sorry, I'm trying to get all the sweat off me because it is now 90 degrees in my office. So for our European friends, it's like 33. Let's cool this down here. Sorry for the fan noise. Need more room. Run out of space, peoples. So I have these stacked backwards because that was the order I put them down in, which is why I have to flip them. Use the fan to try to get them a little more cool. Yes, Brenda, Forever makes a hard surface paper. So does Uninet, that you can do hard surface. So you can do things like aluminum mugs, things like that. Wood. So you can do it without, like, most of the sublimation stuff has like a polyester coating on it. But I just haven't tried it. I do have some samples, but I don't use it, so. But I do have the sample media. I even have temporary tattoo media. That's true. I should buy the AC before I buy the Digifold. Michael, you would love the 550. And no obligation, but I do have an affiliate link that if you buy the 550 through, I do get a credit. I do appreciate all you that use my affiliate links. It does help out a lot and makes it so I can continue to make these videos. And like I said earlier with my pricing calculator, it is available on Patreon, but I can understand what it's like to not have money and to be broke. So if you cannot afford to support me on Patreon, don't. Just send me an email and I will send you a link to my pricing calculator, or frankly anything else. I do try to help as much as I can because I know what it feels like. Yeah, Nathan, that's why I bought the temporary tattoo medium. My hope was that I could go to the local high school event and design stuff on the spot. But One, I don't really like having to be stuck to a specific schedule, and two, well, no one's doing events right now. Plus, it'd be really difficult to take my machines. I'd have to get a different heat press, one that was smaller and lighter, but I do think it would be fun. I do some temporary tattoos for the high school, but I get those from a company called California Tattoo. I haven't thought about tattoos for the dentist, but that is a good idea. Now, the tattoos have to be for the bad kids, Mateus. My dentist growing up had what he called the cavity club, which was people that didn't have cavities, and I thought it was dumb because it's like, why would you call it the cavity club? It should be called the anti-cavity club. I should have been in the cavity club. All right, now we're gonna do second press. Heat press time. Where's the video? There we go. All right. Any other questions, comments? Mateus, the cavity is when you don't brush your teeth enough, and they have to use the drill to fix your teeth. So usually this is too hot, and so I have to kind of let it cool, and I slowly peel it off, because if you peel it off and it's hot, then it peels the graphic off. And I'm not sure why it does it, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But you can see it's sticking. So if I pull it, then it's going to pull the graphic off. There we go. Turned out nice. So to give you a look, here's what it looks after press. Here's what it looks like before press. So you can definitely see how shiny it is versus now this is more of a matter finish. Plus it helps with the washability. Nick, where do you buy silicone sheets? Because I would like to, but I don't know where to buy it. Nick says he likes to use the silicone sheet for the second press because it gives a better screen printed feel and look. Or screen printed look. Sorry, I couldn't see you around the Um, I'd love to do that. I bought some transfers like 2 years ago from a lady, and she sent a silicone sheet with it, and I really liked it, but I don't know where to buy them. Alright, I'll have to check around then. I had a few problems when I ordered from US Cutter. So, you're right, Mateus, I probably could get them from Amazon. So thank you everyone who has or will use or does use my Amazon affiliate link. Um, I'm going to buy some silicone sheets with it. The way that the affiliate program works, for the way that I have it set up anyway, is that if anyone uses my affiliate link, I get, depending on the product, between 1 and 8% of the product price, and I get it as a gift card from Amazon. So thank you to everyone who does use that. No obligation, don't feel like you have to, but anything you buy is, I guess, commissionable. There are some products that you don't get any commission on, though. Although recently it's really funny. People have been buying a lot of haircut stuff. Any other? Dang it. At least it didn't break. Any other questions? So Nathan is asking what the brown pillow looking deal. It is called a Teflon pillow. So it's like a Teflon sheet, but it's padded. The reason I'm using it is to create a more flat surface, since the shirt has the collar and whatnot. So it makes it a flatter surface where I'm actually pressing. I'll post a link here in just a minute of the one that I have. It came in like a 5-pack or something, and I really like it. I use it for like youth shirts. I use it for the masks that I've been doing. I use it for onesies, anything that has like a zipper. Yeah, it works for sublimation. Anything that you have to do with heat, it works. Alright, print fan, I'm curious. There's really only two types of phones in the world, Android and Apple. What do y'all use? Hit me up in the comments. I used to use Android. I switched to Apple about a year ago because my wife uses Apple and it makes it really nice to communicate. So, I'm Apple. What's everyone else? We got Mateus, who's Apple. We had some person leave because they didn't want to answer the question. Michael's Android. Minecraft is Apple. Alright, funny Nathan. Those Nokia candy bar phones, those were bricks. I remember like in high school when I had one, I was like, hey, can I borrow your phone? And you'd huck it across the hall and you didn't care about it. Now you have to gently pass your phone to people. So we got a good mix of people. Alright, so kind of on that same note, Mac or PC? I use PC, although I do own a Mac. It sits in a drawer for when I need to fix a computer. I'm currently a PC guy. What's everyone else rocking? We got two for PC. Drewski uses PC but has both. Drewski, the brown pad, was what's called a Teflon pillow. It helps to create a smoother surface for things that can't be flat on the heat press. I will post a link to mine here in just a second. Always learning, PC, Brenda, PC. Brian says he uses both. Minecraft, PC. Looks like PC's for the win on that one. The phones, it seemed like a kind of an even mix. All right, final versus question. I agree, Mac is too expensive. Versus work from home. Do you work from home like I do? Or do you have a shop that you work from? Whether you work for yourself or work for someone else doesn't matter. Do you work at home or do you work at a shop? I work from home. I know Minecraft works from home. I'm really excited for his future rednecking videos. Mateus works from home. He says he does so sadly. Yeah, I think it has its pros and cons. Minecraft says he's posting a video now. Great. I'll go check it after I'm done with my live stream. Michael works full time and then works at home. Ooh, almost dropped it again. Nathan works in the field. Brenda does both. Alright. Shirts are done. I'll be happy to get this one off my chest. I tend to struggle when I do shirts for friends. But they already paid me. So I really need to get it done. And now they officially are done. Switch back to the webcam. Welcome back to the front view. Welcome to my beautiful face. Alright, let's... So, the Teflon pillows that I use are super helpful and convenient. I just posted a link in the chat of the ones that I buy. It is an Amazon link, so if you do buy, I do get a commission. So I'm trying to see if I can find some silicone sheets on Amazon. And all I can find is like the baking sheets, so I'll have to do some more research. Oh, here's a 20-pack, but they're kind of small. But I'll link those so people know what we're talking about. Yeah, so Drewski, I use the Teflon pillow on the youth shirts because because of the collars, it would be in the way of pressing it, and so it wouldn't be a flat surface where the graphic was. So by using the Teflon pillow, it makes it slightly padded, and so where the graphic was, it remains flat, but it gives space for the collar to basically have room to be smushed. if that makes sense. But they do, if you look at that link, I can't seem to see where my other ones are, but I have like 3 or 4 different sizes. So I have one that like slips right inside of a onesie. I have one that's like the size of a face mask, which is nice. So it's super nice and convenient to have. And I'm glad I bought them. They're not very expensive. They're only about 20 bucks for the pack. Plus it comes with Teflon sheets, which I used and cut them down. So it's worth having. So you can also get the silicone sheets from Heat Transfer Warehouse. Um, I only see an 11 by 17 size. I'm sure they probably have bigger ones. But here's a link to those if anyone wants to check those out. Yeah, Michael, I would highly suggest it. It's one of those little things that make it a lot better. The other thing that I like, that specific one that I linked, it also came with some Teflon tape, which is super helpful for doing hats and stuff, or just holding a graphic in place. So I like it. Okay, well, I think that's about it. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. I'm happy to answer any more questions that people might have, but the only other thing I need to do is cut these banners down, but I'll probably wait to do it till Monday. So, any last questions, comments, concerns, rude remarks before I call it a stream? Brands and Empires, if you're still here, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone else that hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Drewski is asking about the Uninet printer. I really like it. That's what I just decorated these shirts with. And there are some cons as far as you have to realize when you first get it that you'll waste some media learning how it works and just the peeling process and all of that. But kind of once you learn the steps, it's pretty universal. Sometimes, like, I ruined one while we were pressing it or doing the marrying sheet because it just happened to rip in the middle of it. So the way that I do it is typically um, like small things where I can fit more than one on a sheet. So I'm not super upset if I lose one, just because there's usually enough profit in the job to lose 1 or 2 sheets, or I always account for that. Versus, I think if you're doing one shirt for people, then you might get upset with yourself. Um, but I really like it. Full disclosure, I bought my own. I did not get mine given to me like a bunch of YouTubers did. I paid for it. I bought it. I like it. I use it quite frequently. Like, we made some shirts yesterday for Bob, and we have more shirts that we're making on Monday, and we're doing it with white toner. So I highly recommend it. I do have an affiliate link If you use that to buy it, I do get a commission. So if anyone is interested, no obligation, but I do appreciate it. I'll link it here in the comments. I like it. It's worth it. I will look at specialty graphic supply. Thank you, Brenda. Let's see if I can make sure I know where they are. Make sure it's Googleable. Okay. Yeah, I will check them out. Thank you for that. I wish you the best of luck, Drewski. Like I said, don't worry about using affiliate links or whatnot, but I appreciate everyone that does, when you do, how you do it, etc. So, any last questions, people, before we call it a stream? I do think I'm going to live stream every other week. I may sometimes mix it up and do it on like Wednesday, like people asked in the last stream. Um, but that's my thinking. But any suggestions on the live streaming? Any suggestions on um, videos just to go throughout the week? I greatly appreciate that because I do make money from YouTube and it's helping me continue to make the videos, and I like making the videos and I think they're helpful for not only myself but for others, so I appreciate the income that I earn from it. So if you do have any suggestions on video topics, I do greatly appreciate it. Um, Thank you for those in the comments that say they like the streams and the videos. I'm glad you enjoy them. I like doing them. I recognize most of you from either emails or comments from before, so thank you for continuing to come back. I really appreciate it. So Jamie says, I'm assuming it's related to videos, anything for newbies. I think the hard thing um, with that type of comment is I've been doing it for 10 years, so it's hard for me to know what would be helpful because I've been doing it so long that sometimes I don't think about it anymore. So if you have specific topics, newbie related, or like what products I wish I wouldn't have purchased for a specific type of thing that I do, or things like that, then that would be helpful for me because I do want to share my knowledge because I don't want people to have the same mistakes that I have or have the same problems that I do. But sometimes it's hard to know what to share because I just know too much, if that makes sense. But I do think it's hard because the vlogs they didn't show like the first 8 years of business. So sometimes I think it's a little misleading because I have all this stuff at this point. Brenda asked if we are still doing a podcast. Yes. And there's two more episodes that are recorded. I just haven't edited them. So I need to edit them. I will probably do one right now and post it today. And then it's just hard. I had to do a lot and I have to edit the podcast. Like I have to listen to it, and the podcast is about an hour long, so it takes a minimum of an hour to do it. So it's hard. That's why I have mixed feelings about making money from online stuff, but at the same time, it's like I need to make money in order to justify continuing to do it. Because if I can't make money doing it, then I can't spend my time doing it. So that's what's hard. Drewski, my embroidery machine is a SWF. Um, I do have a video right when I bought it. I think it was before the vlog started, so about a year and a half ago. So you can look that up. I'll go over it a little bit more. Okay, any other questions? There's currently 20 of you in here. No more questions? 21? I want to get the podcast out. I think it's fun and you learn a lot from it. But thanks, Drewski. Thanks for being here. But yeah, it's definitely I'm super grateful for Cam because we would not be doing daily vlogs still if it wasn't for Cam. So, and I know people like the podcast because so far it's had over 100 people listen to it. Um, I'm not sure how good my cameras are to show you up close pictures, but this is one that was done. We got no problema. Let's see, keep some focus on the llama. Llama. Don't focus on me. Llama. There we go. Lost it. Llama. I made this one for my cousin. She had a bicycle that she painted to look like a watermelon, so she wanted a sticker for her helmet that said "Protect your melon." I have my custom "Do Not Bend" stickers. We got a 2020 with toilet paper and a mask. This is one that Derek made that he sent me. We got a mostly yellow one. Bumper sticker. Focus, dude. I like it. I'm happy with the quality. I have not had any complaints from my customers. Brenda, there will be a new one soon. I promise. Probably today. Cam is awesome. Jet asks what I think of UV printers. I'm not against a UV printer, and if I get the space and the option, I may end up getting a UV printer over like the R1000. I would really like to get in the flatbed realm of large format printing with rigid media, but I'd also need to get a cutter, like a flatbed cutter at the same time. And I'm not against UV. I hear that they have kind of the same struggles as the eco solvents, where you just have to use them or you lose them. So that's my concern, is not having enough work to justify it. But I'm not against them. I just need more business. I agree, Nathan. Start printing on what you got and then upgrade. That's actually like Derek with Alvalu Designs. He started with the Cricut, and then he got the BN20, then he got the latex. Now he's doing a bunch of label stuff. So I did look at the Zante. I feel that it's overpriced for what it is. You can actually get the Chinese equivalent for a third the cost of the Zante. Um, and it's not quite big enough. It's a 60 by 90 centimeter bed, and I want it, like, it needs to be a little bit bigger. Like, if you're gonna do that small, it's got to be able to accommodate like real estate signs and multiple yard signs at the same time. So that's where my big struggle is. I either need to go big, or I need something that's more like the UV Compress, the bigger one, but I don't really like the company that sells those. Kyle just got the DTG. Kyle, you should send me an email, because I might be able to farm some work your way for that DTG. Yes, I do. For the Patreon members, I do send the perks all over the world. So wherever you sign up is fine. So Nathan says he's got 2 silhouettes. Um, for those that don't know, my very first dive into having equipment was actually someone on my local classifieds was selling a US Cutter 28-inch, and that's where I got my first kind of dive into. Oh man, gotta update the on counter now. I started with that, and I was doing mostly black and white using Oracal 651, and then I started doing, or I looked into doing some heat transfer. I was doing some shirts for the local high school. I was outsourcing them to my screen printer, but they wanted to do, names on the shirts, and so I needed to figure out how to do that. So I figured that, oh, I could buy a heat press, and I talked with my wife, and I struggled, and I paid $300, and I bought my very first 15 by 15 heat press, and then I grew to do a lot of HTV, and then from there I was outsourcing decals to a company, and they didn't want to do them anymore, and I had an outsourced supplier in California, and they stopped offering contour cutting. They would still do adhesive, but it had to be straight. And so that's why I looked at buying the HP latex and eventually bought it. So I went from the most I had spent on the business for equipment, besides like computers and phones and whatnot, the most I'd spent was about $500, to basically dropping all in about 18,000 for the HP latex. And then shortly after, I dropped about 70 for the Konica stuff. Yeah, Mancraft, I had, I think, the M728 or something. Pretty sure they still sell it. It's not terrible, but I wouldn't buy it again. So I had the MH. So I had the 28-inch with the stand. So it was like the MH something. But it was the MH because it was the purple one. It wasn't terrible. The biggest issue the reason I hated it so much was it was difficult to get connected to the computer, but once you got it connected, it worked. I ended up having to connect mine with a serial port, so I actually have a serial connection on this PC. Um, but yeah, I if people are just starting out and they want to upgrade from the the like crickets of the world, then GraphTech is like the go-to for like cutting, and they are nice, but it's probably not what I'd recommend for someone starting out. I wouldn't recommend spending $2,000 buying a GraphTech. Because I just don't feel it's just like my cat press. I didn't go buy the Stahl's $1,000 cat press. I started with a basic, affordable um, cat press because I wanted to make sure I'd be able to pay for it. I wanted to make sure that it was worth it, that it would work, and it does have its quirks. But I also didn't spend $1,000 on it. I spent $150 on it. So if I can use it for a few years and it works great, and I can continue to see the business grow, then I'll upgrade. It was the same thing that I did with my heat press. I didn't go out and buy the Fusion. I went out and um, bought a 15 by 15 for 300 bucks. And then after 7 years, then I got something nicer and newer. But if I were to go buy a heat or a whatever it's called right now, I would actually, I'll post it in the comments. This is the cutter that I would probably start out with just because it's affordable, it's got good support, um, but it's a starter. And then if you can grow the business and you want something faster, nicer, then I would go up to the GraphTech. But I don't think it's worth starting. Like, I have made too many mistakes where I jumped in, and so I'd recommend starting slower and smaller and then upgrading. The HP Latex does not have an all-in-one machine, and frankly, I don't recommend it if you're doing printing and cutting, just because it slows you down. If you have to laminate or want to laminate, then you have to detach it from the machine anyway, and so the all-in-ones I don't recommend. So everyone's talking in the comments about the different ones that they use, but yeah, if it were me, I'd buy the one that I just linked. It's 400 bucks. It's 28 inch, so it does a relatively good size. but then you can work up. So you can start doing decals, multi-layer decals. You can do heat transfer. It has good connections, good support, and then after a while you can upgrade. Like the equivalent in a Graphtex, $1,800. So even if you had to replace the $400 one, you could replace it multiple times before you even got to the Graphtec price. So start out low. It's my recommendation. Did you see the link this time, Nathan? It shouldn't be blocking me. I'm in charge. I'm still streaming. What's up? What? Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's weird that the link is not working. Did any of my links come through? Do you guys have top chat on or do you have live chat on? That's weird. Now did it work? Yep, that was the real boss. Okay, I've put the link in like 4 times. Have people seen it? This is so stupid. You think technology would just work. I'll pull it up on my phone. Still can't see it. What the heck? Seriously, trying to load my own stream and I've got an ad for Macari. Seriously, why are my own chats not coming through? Did any of my links come through? I posted one to the Amazon stuff. I posted... Alright, let's see how we can... Let's restore the chat to here. Seriously, I posted like 10 links in the chat. Apparently, it's been for no reason. Oh. I just posted it just barely, just now, between Jay that said nope, no links, and Drewski that says yes, just not this one. I posted a comment. Yes, the Amazon ones did earlier. Alright, let's see. Okay, I just posted my own website. Did that one come through? I wonder if it's blocking it because... Okay, Drewski says he sees my website. Okay, so my website came through. Oh man, technology is amazing, don't you guys think? So let's cheat the system. I can't see your comments for a second. Okay, so I just posted one for my site that says cutter that will link you to the one that I was talking about. That's so dumb. It's probably some anti-spam thing, but I don't know how to like approve comments during a live stream that are my like why would it block my own comment? I'm supposed to be in charge. Hold on, I want to try something. Did you guys get an ad? Kyle, thank you for the donation. I found a button in the top right. I was looking for comment things and it said insert an ad. So I'm curious, did you guys get one? Kyle, thank you for the super sticker. Fist bump. Bro fist, as some would say. So the one that I sent you, no, it does not do print and cut. If you want something like that, you gotta spend a little bit more money to get something with um, like arm built into it. Which I personally, I never use that before because loading a piece of paper or something that you printed in um, tends to be super difficult. But you can get them that do the arm registration there. You're just going to spend more money. Also, the more money you spend, the better motors you get, um, which makes it quieter. And quieter is always nice. And like if you're looking one that has that registration, then you would want something like this one. Yeah, so the one that I just sent, that one has arm registration or like automatic reading registration. They call it advanced AAS2 contour cutting, which is basically where it will read registration marks. So they are more expensive, but they have more features. They're also quieter, like I said. Did the second link come through? I linked it to my website again. It's called Cutter with Reg. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns, rude remarks? I don't have much more to add, but I'm happy to keep talking. But we've been going for 3 hours now, but I'm happy to still be here and chat. I just hope people don't make the same mistakes I did and spend too much money too fast so that it turns into heartache. And again, make sure you watch Monday's vlog. It's a tearjerker. I'm about ready to cry just thinking about it. Save the Print Shop is the video of people sharing it didn't go anywhere, which was fine. I didn't have too high of hopes, but my plan of working on wedding announcements and the dental office is going well. I've actually designed a couple of postcards, and what I'm going to do, instead of doing the letter, I'm going to hand deliver some postcards with the business logo on them so that they can use them, along with the hand delivered flyer explaining the different things that I use, or different things that they can buy from me that I feel like would help them and support them. But that way they can meet me. I can give them kind of a little bit of a sob story saying that COVID has hit me really hard, that I'm a local business and I would love their support, and here's some free postcards. Try to bring, I guess not the sob story really, but more of a human element to it, so that it will play on their emotions a little bit, so that hopefully they would choose to use me instead of using some online service. Um, that's really what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to win over people that shop at Vistaprint or the online catalogs. It's kind of the same thing. I made some updates to businesscardsonly.com, and in the last couple of vlogs that I recorded, I asked people if they would take a look at it. So if you guys want to take a look at it now, I specifically made a page called Compare, and it shows the price difference between buying cards from me versus buying them from everywhere else. And that's what I'm going to try to do with the dental offices. Make it really a no-brainer of buying from me so that it's easier, more convenient, and whatnot. So if you have a minute and want to take a quick peek at business cards only, then I'd love your feedback. But that's kind of the idea behind Save the Print Shop and what I'm doing and working towards. But I agree, Mateus, the in-person contact I think will make a big difference. Again, my hope is really to add a human element to it so that it just becomes more of an emotional decision rather than a logical one, even though it will be logical, because if you go look at businesscardsonly.com and look at that compare page, I am significantly different price-wise. Granted, business card only is cheaper than what I sell them for if you buy them directly from me. But the purpose of this is to try to generate some online stuff, and I'm going to reach out to Lambooty. I don't know if you're still in the chat, Lambooty, but I'm going to try to get some tips and pointers from him to do some online marketing for it. So, any other questions? No, that is two-sided, Nathan. I should probably put that somewhere. Thank you for that. I'll make a note. So I tried to make it really simple. I probably should class up a little bit more, but kind of the idea was people could go there and they have three options. They can design it online, they can upload a design they have, or we can design it for them, which that one obviously is more expensive, but the hope is that they'll just do it themselves or upload their design. The editor is one that I got from like Code Canyon. Let me see if I can find it. It's a pretty nice designer. It's not super expensive. I think it was 50 or 60 bucks, maybe. Not terribly expensive. Alright, here is the design tool that I used. It was $40. Yeah, as soon as, Nathan, as soon as I get the online stuff working and growing, I'll definitely share it so that you guys can reproduce it yourselves. I know it works, so before I did printing full-time and basically the origin stories, I ran a computer repair business and my printing business while also having a full-time job. And I did run Google Ads for my printing business, and I was able, for a physical business, I was able to get it for every $20 that I spent on Google Ads, I made 100. So it basically was a $20 acquisition. And so I know it works. I'm just not familiar with how to do it with an online only business, because there's, with a local business, it's easier to target, it's easier to go after specific things rather than worldwide or continental United States. It's a little bit harder just because there's a lot more competition. So I know it works, but I will definitely work on sharing that with you. But Mateus, let me know if that link came through. It's just timetomake something.com/designer, DESIGNER, and that should take you to the tool that I use. Again, it was $40, and it's, or wait, that's for the support. Never mind, how much was it? I already bought it, so I don't know if I can. It's $50, and it's for WordPress. Mateus said it was a one-time purchase. You can buy additional support, but I haven't ever needed it. Never used it in the first place. Welcome, Robert. You are a little late. We've been streaming for 3 hours. After this, I get to go clean my truck and list it for sale. Trying to get rid of it. I'm selling my truck and my car. We're going to be down to a one-car family for a little bit while we decide what we want to do. So the designer is a tool within the website to be able to design products. They can be used for like business cards, postcards, really anything. Awesome. Robert, helping someone set up their network. I just recorded a video of how my network is set up to hopefully help people. But back to answering Nathan's question, I use a tool called Elegant Themes on WordPress to do my website, and I really like it. Let me know if that link works. It's trenchtech.co/theme. Trench Tech is my other YouTube channel, but I really like it. It's really easy to design websites with WordPress using that theme. I bought the lifetime license, and it was very worth it. So the design tool is supposed to give me a PDF. So when they use the online designer and it finishes it, it sends me a printable PDF. So I don't have to modify it at all. I can go straight to print. All right. Any other questions before we call it a stream? So I host my website with DigitalOcean, and I use the WooCommerce shopping cart, and I have a video on my tech channel showing how I set it up. Let me find that, and I will send it to you. It still works. The video itself is 4 years old, but it still works great. I used the same setup to set up a website just a couple months ago. For payment, I use Stripe, which you can natively integrate with WooCommerce. Brenda, I would not say that it is technologically challenging if you use the right tools. So if you follow my video to set up your website, it makes it really simple. If you use the theme that I suggest, it makes it really easy to design because it's all block based and kind of drag and drop. Um, if you guys think that would be helpful, I could do a series on making my wedding announcement website. If you guys think that would be interesting, then I can record a bunch of videos with building that website from the ground up. And let me know if that YouTube video came through in the comments. Okay, I will make the videos. And is the yes on making the videos of building a website, or it's yes the link? Okay. So I will make some videos of starting the wedding announcement website and building it from the ground up. I will do everything from setting up the website to designing it to the products and installing everything. So I will record the whole thing. The fees for Stripe are pretty much the same as most platforms. So I think it's like 2.79 or 2.9 plus like 15 or 30 cents or something. Stripe is what I use for my online stuff. So like I have people that have paid me to do consulting or people that have just donated money through Time to Make Something. So if you want to go look at what a form would look like, there's a link that I just put in the chat. So I use Stripe for all my WooCommerce stuff, any online things, and then I use a local merchant processor for all my actual business. Its rate, I have a little card reader in the other room. Its rate for the card reader is like 1.9 versus online stuff is 2.8 or something, so it's a little bit better than what Stripe is. But they don't have the same integrations. So typically for online I use Stripe, but in person I try to use my actual physical reader. But at the same time I pay monthly fees, and all in all it's probably not worth it. It'd probably be just the same to just use Stripe. I used to use a combination of Stripe, Square, PayPal, but I'm trying to make it easier for my accountant. Speaking of my accountant, would you guys be interested in me bringing him on every once in a while to give some tips? He is licensed across all of the United States, and he has been a great asset to my team. I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, is tips from the accountant, but that is one thing that I will never not pay for. $3.7 is a lot. Yes, Robert, you can buy one-on-one consulting time. This is just what someone told me to charge. If you feel that it should be different, then I am way open to suggestions. But I have been charging $45 for a 30-minute consult and $75 for an hour. But yes, I'm happy to do a one-on-one consult. And I even have a Calendly thing set up so that you can schedule it yourself. Okay, I will bring the accountant on. That is, if you are new to business, that is the one thing that I would suggest that you strive to have as an accountant. I pay my accountant $250 a month, and he does everything: reconciliation, books, payments received, payments. Like, he does everything. I don't have to do anything. I get reports. I can ask him as many questions as I want, and it's awesome. So I highly recommend it. But Robert, feel free to reach out to me. Like I've been saying throughout the whole chat, I try to be as helpful and useful with my time. So I'm not gonna lie. Someone paid me $10, and I talked to him for an hour and a half. So I know what it's like to not have money because I currently don't have any. So feel free to reach out. Okay. Well, unless there's any last questions, I think we're gonna call it. I had lots of fun. I'll see about getting the camera set up better for the next one, but I'll probably plan on doing this about every other week as time permits. Make sure you watch Monday's vlog. It's definitely a tearjerker. Again, it makes me feel like a bit of a failure, so you'll have to watch Monday to find out. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing with friends. If you have any questions about what I do, why I do it, how I do it, etc., I've been answering those the whole time. But you can leave those down in the comments if you're watching this later. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.